Last winter, a 7-2-year-old woman named Margaret sat across from me in my office, looking exhausted. She told me she had not slept through the night in almost 2 years. Every single morning, at exactly 3:17 a.m., her eyes would snap open, her heart would be pounding, her mind would race with worries that felt enormous in the darkness, but seemed almost silly by daylight. Before I share those 7 reasons with you, I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually answer me, right there in the comments below. She had tried everything: warm milk, sleeping pills, lavender on her pillow. Nothing worked. Now, a quick word about me. My name is Dr. Walter Pembrook. For many years, I have devoted my work to helping older adults understand their own bodies in plain, honest, respectful language. Nothing more, nothing less. Then she said something that broke my heart. She said, "Doctor, I have just accepted that this is what getting old feels like. I want you to know something right now. Margaret was wrong. And if you have been telling yourself the same thing, you are wrong too." Waking up at 3 inches the morning, week after week, month after month, is not aging. It is not bad luck. It is not just how seniors sleep. It is a signal. Your body is knocking on the door of your awareness, trying to tell you something specific is happening inside you while you sleep. Something with your blood sugar, your hormones, your breathing, even the way your brain processes the weight of everyday life. The good news? Once Margaret understood the real reasons, she made 3 small changes. Nothing expensive, nothing complicated. Within 5 weeks, she was sleeping until sunrise again. Today, I am going to share with you the same 7 reasons I shared with her. And the very last one, reason number 1, is something most seniors do every evening without a second thought. It may be the very thing stealing your sleep. Tell me, how long has this been going on for you? Is it weeks, months, or years, the way it was for Margaret? And when your eyes open at that hour, what is the first thing you feel? A racing heart? A tight chest? A worried mind that will not slow down? Please write it down. Because somewhere out there, another senior is reading these comments tonight, feeling completely alone, and your words may be the very thing that tells them they are not. Let us begin with reason number 7. And this one catches almost every senior by surprise, because it has nothing to do with sleep itself. It has to do with what is sitting in your stomach when you turn off the lights. Your blood sugar. Here is what most people never realize. When you eat dinner at 5 or 6 inches the evening, and then you do not eat anything else until morning, that is a long stretch for your body to go without fuel. 12 hours, sometimes 13, and if that dinner was mostly white rice, bread, pasta, or something sweet, your blood sugar climbs quickly after the meal, but it also falls just as quickly a few hours later. By 2 or 3 inches the morning, the tank is running close to empty. It releases 2 stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, to push your blood sugar back up. But those are the very same hormones that make your heart race, your mind speed up, and your eyes snap wide open in the dark. Think of it like a house with the heater turned off overnight. At first, the warmth lingers, but as the hours pass, the temperature quietly drops, until suddenly the pipes start to creak, the floorboards groan, and you are pulled out of sleep by sounds you did not expect. Your body, running low on fuel, makes its own kind of noise. I once worked with a gentleman named Robert, 68 years old. He was waking up almost every night around 2:45, feeling shaky and anxious. He thought it was his heart. He thought it was stress. But when he started having a small, balanced snack about an hour before bed, just a few almonds and half a slice of cheese, those nighttime wake-ups faded within 2 weeks. Now, one important note. If you have diabetes, or you are on any medication that affects blood sugar, please speak with your doctor before changing your evening routine. But for many seniors, the answer is not eating less at night. It is eating smarter. And speaking of things that happen quietly while you sleep, the next reason is one you may never feel at all. Reason number 6 is one that concerns me deeply, because it affects far more seniors than people realize, and most of them have no idea it is happening. It is called sleep-disordered breathing. The most common form is something you may have heard of, obstructive sleep apnea. And the name sounds frightening, but the idea behind it is actually quite simple. When you fall asleep, all the muscles in your body relax, including the soft tissue at the back of your throat. For some people, that tissue relaxes so much that it partially blocks the airway. Air still gets through, but not enough. Your oxygen level begins to drop. And the moment your brain detects that drop, it pulls you out of deep sleep, just enough to get you breathing properly again. You may not even remember it happening, but your body remembers, And these episodes tend to cluster in the second half of the night, right around the 2 to 4 a.m. window. Picture a garden hose that someone is slowly stepping on. The water still flows, but only in a trickle. Eventually, the pressure forces the hose to jerk free, and the flow returns to normal. That is essentially what is happening in your throat, over and over again, all night long. The signs are not always obvious. Loud snoring is one clue, but here is something many seniors do not know. You can have sleep apnea without snoring loudly at all. The more telling signs are waking up with a very dry mouth, feeling tired no matter how many hours you spent in bed, morning headaches that ease up after an hour or two, and needing to use the bathroom several times during the night. I remember a woman named Eleanor, 71 years old. She told me she had felt exhausted for nearly a decade. She blamed her age. She blamed her medications. Her daughter finally convinced her to do a simple at-home sleep test, and the results showed she was waking briefly more than 30 times an hour. Once she began treatment, she told me it felt like the lights had been turned back on after living in a fog for years. This matters more after the age of 60 because the muscles that keep your airway open naturally lose some of their tone with age. If any of this sounds familiar, please bring it up with your doctor. A sleep study today is far simpler than it used to be, and the relief that follows can be life-changing. Reason number 5 is one almost every senior has experienced. You wake up at 3 a.m., shuffle to the bathroom, come back to bed, and then lie there for the next hour wondering why you cannot fall back asleep. Most people accept this as just a part of getting older, but if it is happening night after night, and especially if it is happening at the same hour, there is more to the story than a simple full bladder. The medical word for this is nocturia, and the causes go far beyond what most seniors are ever told. Yes, as you age, your kidneys become a little less efficient at concentrating urine overnight, which means the bladder fills faster than it did when you were younger. Yes, certain medications, especially blood pressure pills and water tablets, can increase how much urine your body produces. If you take those in the late afternoon or evening, the timing alone may explain your 3 a.m. wake-ups. Let me explain. During the day, when you are sitting in your chair or standing in the kitchen, gravity slowly pulls fluid down into your ankles and lower legs. You may have noticed your shoes feel a little tighter by evening, or your socks leave a mark on your skin. That fluid has nowhere to go while you are upright. But the moment you lie down flat at night, all of that fluid begins to flow back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys notice, and they go to work, filtering that extra fluid and sending it to your bladder. The result? A bladder that demands attention at 2, 3, or 4 inches the morning. But here is the part that surprises most people. Nocturia is not always about the bladder at all. Sometimes it is about the heart, the legs, and gravity. The good news is that there are simple, practical things you can do. One of the most effective is to elevate your legs for 20 to 30 minutes in the early evening, perhaps while you watch television or read. This allows the fluid to redistribute earlier, before bedtime, so your kidneys are not flooded with work during the night. It also helps to front-load your fluids. Drink most of your water in the morning and early afternoon, and ease off in the last 2 hours before bed. Staying hydrated is essential. Never skip water entirely, but timing matters more than most seniors realize. And one final note, if you are waking up more than twice a night to use the bathroom, please mention it to your doctor. It is rarely dangerous on its own, but it can sometimes point to something treatable that you would never discover otherwise. Before we move on to the next reason, let me ask you something. If anything I have shared so far has helped you understand your own body a little better tonight, would you do me one small favor? Tap the like button just once. That single tap tells YouTube to share this video with other seniors who are lying awake right now, staring at their ceiling, just like you have been. They need this information too. They just have not found it yet. And if you have not already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post these videos because I truly believe older adults deserve clear, honest health guidance, the kind that respects your intelligence and your years of life experience. Now, let us continue. Reason number 4 is a hidden one. You will not see it on any lab test you have ever taken, but it may be the loudest reason your eyes keep opening at 3 inches the morning. It has to do with a hormone called cortisol. Now, do not let the medical words scare you. Cortisol is simply your body's natural wake-up signal. Every morning, in a healthy pattern, your cortisol levels are very low when you first fall asleep, and they begin to rise slowly in the early morning hours, gently nudging you toward waking up around 6 or 7 a.m. It is your body's own built-in sunrise. But here is where the trouble begins. When you have been carrying stress for a long time, And I do not just mean the obvious stress like a difficult day. I mean the quiet kind of stress that follows seniors through life. Worry about your health, sadness over someone you have lost, financial concerns, loneliness. Even just the steady weight of unresolved thoughts. Your cortisol pattern begins to shift. Instead of rising gently at sunrise, it starts firing early. Sometimes much too early. Sometimes right at 3 a.m. And when cortisol surges, your body cannot ignore it. Your eyes open, your heart picks up speed. Your mind suddenly remembers every worry it has been hiding all day. You may not even know what you are anxious about. You just feel it. That strange sense that something is wrong, even though everything in your house is perfectly fine. Imagine your body has a thermostat that is supposed to start warming the house at 6 a.m. But over the years, the wiring has been jostled by stress, and now it kicks on at 3 a.m., instead, flooding your system with heat hours before you need it. That is what an early cortisol surge feels like. The most powerful thing you can do about this is also one of the simplest. It is called a wind-down routine. You do not need anything fancy. Dim the lights in your home an hour before bed. Turn off the news, especially anything upsetting. Try a few minutes of slow, deep breathing while sitting in your favorite chair. And if there is a worry stuck in your mind, write it down on a piece of paper before you sleep. Put it on the kitchen table. Tell yourself, gently, that you will deal with it in the morning. These small habits send your nervous system one consistent message every single night. You are safe, you are home, it is time to rest. Over weeks, this can quietly retrain that internal thermostat back to where it belongs. Reason number 3 is one that surprises many seniors, because they do not even think of themselves as being in pain. Here is what most people do not realize. You do not have to wake up screaming in agony for discomfort to disturb your sleep. The kind of pain that quietly steals your sleep at 3 a.m. is the kind you barely notice during the day. A stiff shoulder, a tight lower back, knees that ache just a little when you climb the stairs, hands that feel slightly swollen in the morning. These are the small, familiar aches that you have simply learned to live with. And during the day, you can, because life is loud. There is laundry to fold, family to call, errands to run, television to watch. Your brain has 1,000 things competing for its attention. But at 3 a.m., the world goes silent. And in that silence, your body finally has nothing else to focus on except itself. There is also something happening inside you that very few seniors are told about. Your body's natural anti-inflammatory hormones follow a daily rhythm. They are at their highest in the morning and at their lowest in the second half of the night, which means inflammation that is well controlled during the day can quietly creep up between 2 and 4 a.m., turning a mild ache into something just loud enough to wake you. Picture a refrigerator humming in your kitchen. During the day, with the television on and the dishwasher running, you do not hear it at all. But late at night, in a quiet house, that same gentle hum suddenly sounds enormous. That is exactly what chronic pain does to your sleep. It does not get worse. It just stops being drowned out. I worked with a woman named Patricia, 69 years old. She kept waking up between 2 and 3 every night and was certain it was anxiety. But she also mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that her hips always felt stiff in the morning. Her doctor suggested gentle stretching before bed and a small adjustment to when she took her usual anti-inflammatory medication. Within 2 weeks, the night wake-ups had nearly disappeared. A few small things can help. Light stretching of your hips, lower back, and shoulders in the evening. A pillow placed between your knees if you sleep on your side. And a careful conversation with your doctor about whether the timing of any pain medication could better cover the early morning hours. Reason number 2 is one that many seniors feel deeply, but very few will say out loud. I want to talk about it with the gentleness it deserves, because if this one applies to you, I do not want you to feel embarrassed. I want you to feel understood. During the day, you are surrounded by things. The television hums in the background. You make a cup of coffee. You water the plants. Maybe you talk to your neighbor or call one of your children. Your mind has somewhere to go. You stay busy. You stay distracted. But at 3 a.m., there are no distractions left. The house is dark. The phone is silent. There is no television to fill the room and no errands waiting to be done. And in that stillness, the feelings you have been carrying all day, sometimes for years, finally have room to rise. It may be worry about your health, the kind of worry you do not share with your family because you do not want them to fuss. It may be grief over someone you loved deeply and lost. It may be the quiet ache of a life that has grown smaller, fewer friends still alive, fewer phone calls, fewer reasons to leave the house. It may be the fear of becoming a burden to your children, or the fear of losing the independence you have worked your whole life to keep. These feelings are not weakness. They are part of being a human being who has lived a long, full, meaningful life. And they are far more common among older adults than most people will ever admit. Here is what is happening inside your body. During the lighter stages of sleep, your brain quietly sorts through the emotions of the day. When there is unresolved weight, sadness you have been holding back, fears you have not spoken about, your brain becomes more active during those processing phases, active enough to pull you out of sleep entirely. I once spoke with a widower in his late 70s. He had lost his wife of 52 years. During the day, he kept himself busy. He told everyone he was fine. He even told himself he was fine. But every single night, almost exactly at 3 a.m., he would wake up with tears already on his cheeks. He had no idea why. His body was grieving. Even when his mind would not allow it, he began talking to a counselor just once a week. Within 2 months, those 3 a.m. wake-ups had grown softer, and then quieter, and then mostly stopped. If anything I am saying sounds familiar to you, please hear me. Reaching out for emotional support is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign of strength and of self-respect. Talk to someone you trust. Speak with a counselor by phone or video, or simply write your feelings down on paper before bed. And now, we have arrived at reason number 1. This is the one I promised you at the very beginning. The one that may genuinely surprise you, because it is something most seniors do every single evening, completely convinced it is harmless. Before I tell you what it is, I need you to understand one quick thing about how your sleep actually works. Your sleep is not one long, smooth stretch. It moves in cycles, roughly 90 minutes each, and those cycles change as the night goes on. In the first half of the night, your body spends most of its time in deep, restorative sleep. But in the second half of the night, the part that includes 2, 3, and 4 a.m., your sleep becomes naturally lighter and more fragile. You are closer to the surface, and anything that disturbs your system, even slightly, is far more likely to wake you up during that window. This is where your evening habits come in. And this is where most seniors are completely unaware of what they are doing to themselves. Let me name a few of the most common ones. A warm cup of tea after dinner, a small glass of wine to help wind down, watching the evening news right up until bedtime, eating a large meal at 8 or 9 inches the evening, keeping the bedroom slightly too warm, scrolling through your phone or tablet in bed. Each one of these, on its own, may seem completely harmless, but together, they quietly chip away at the second half of your night. Let me explain the most surprising one first. Many seniors switch from coffee to tea in the afternoon or evening, believing it is gentle and safe. But here is what almost no one tells you. Black tea, green tea, and even some herbal blends contain enough caffeine to disturb sleep, especially as you grow older. After the age of 60, your body processes caffeine far more slowly than it once did. What used to clear your system in 4 hours at age 40 may now take 6, 7, or even 8 hours. So that comforting cup of tea you enjoyed at 7 p.m. could still be quietly working inside you at 3 a.m. Then there is alcohol. A small glass of wine or a nightcap may help you fall asleep faster. That part is true. But research consistently shows that alcohol fragments the second half of your night. It pulls you out of restorative sleep stages and makes early morning wake-ups far more likely. So while the wine feels relaxing at 9 p.m., it is often the very thing pulling you wide awake at 3. Screens are another quiet culprit. Watching television in bed, or scrolling on a phone or tablet, exposes your eyes to bright light that suppresses melatonin, the hormone your brain relies on to keep you asleep. This does not mean you can never enjoy a show in the evening, but the closer to bedtime, and the brighter the screen, the more it interferes with your sleep later in the night. And finally, eating late. A heavy meal close to bedtime forces your digestive system to work hard when it should be resting. This often causes mild discomfort, acid reflux, and internal activity that makes the second half of your sleep restless. The solution is not to give up everything you enjoy. Please hear me on that. It is about making small, gentle adjustments. Switch to a truly caffeine-free option like chamomile or rooibos after mid-afternoon. If you enjoy a glass of wine, have it earlier in the evening and keep it modest. Dim the lights in your home about an hour before bed. And if possible, move your last meal a little earlier and keep it lighter. These are small changes, but together, they protect the fragile second half of your night. Now, let me bring all of this together. Your body waking you up at 3 inches the morning is not a mystery and not a life sentence. It is a signal. From your blood sugar, from your breathing, from your bladder, from a stress hormone firing too early, from pain that grows louder in the silence, from emotions with nowhere to hide, or from small evening habits that quietly undermine your sleep. For most seniors, it is 2 or 3 of these working together, and the steps to ease them are far simpler than you might imagine. A small protein snack before bed, elevating your legs in the evening, a consistent wind-down routine, gentle stretching, emotional support, and a careful look at what you eat, drink, and do in the final 2 hours before bed. None of this requires expensive equipment. It only requires awareness and the belief that you are still worth caring for, because you are. Do you remember Margaret? She made just 3 of these small changes: a balanced evening snack, a gentle wind-down routine, and cutting back on her afternoon tea. 5 weeks later, she slept through the night for the first time in years. She told me she had forgotten what it felt like to wake up to sunlight instead of darkness. You are not too old to sleep well again. You are not too old to wake up feeling rested, and you are not too old to take back your nights. Before you go, I have one small request. If you know another senior who has been quietly struggling with sleep, a friend, a spouse, a neighbor, or one of your own parents, please share this video with them. Sometimes the most caring thing you can do for someone is simply pass along the right information at the right moment. And if this video has helped you in any way tonight, consider subscribing to the channel. I will keep showing up with clear, honest health guidance. No gimmicks, no fear. Just the truth explained simply, the way every older adult deserves to hear it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I am genuinely grateful. Now go take good care of yourself tonight. You have lived a long, meaningful life, and you have absolutely earned a peaceful night of sleep. I will see you in the next video.